All right, welcome back to the Yappin Wrestling Podcast. As always, Dylan Meldrum and my guy Deli. We got to start off the pod on a sad note. Samantha Urban has left the WWE.
Yeah.
Lillian Garcia back, which is
Yep.
cool. But I got to be honest, man. I preferred Samantha, and
Yeah.
not just a looks based thing. I thought she was ring announced with real good emotion. You heard her choking up at Mania 40 when Cody won, and man, she really gave it her all. Based on the singing that she did at one of the previous shows, I believe that might have been Bad Blood that she sang the national anthem, or God Bless America.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
Bad Blood.
maybe she's going out to do something like that because Ricochet
Yeah.
said she ain't going to AEW.
Yep.
So hopefully bigger and better things ahead for her, but a tough loss for the wrestling community. Now
Very sad.
it was kind of a slower news week in terms of wrestling. Obviously, the big storyline we'll start with here is Jey Uso in the Bloodline.
Yep.
So on SmackDown, Jey Uso made his presence known, had a little interaction with Solo Sikoa. That led into Monday night with the Bloodline costing Jey Uso his Intercontinental Championship. I want to just ask you in general, how do you feel about Jey losing the belt in terms of non-bloodline related news? How do you feel about Jay's 28-day title reign?
Yeah, I was indifferent about it, but for the sake of the story, I got past it. I was I thought he would be heading to Survivor Series with the belt. I think we talked about it because I think that would been not saying better, but I think that's just like if you want to carry on him being his singles run guy and just separate him from his brother, I thought that's what they were going to do. But like I said, I think the story is about, I think that's not even pretty much the story. The main story is taking the belt off Bronze to put it back on him. I think that's more people talking about than the Jey thing, because that's how people think about like taking the belt off somebody and putting the belt back on and taking it off.
I think it's so interesting. Everybody that was just jumping down hating it are the same people that will tell you the best era of wrestling ever was the Attitude Era. And I think there's a little bit of revisionist history because the main WWE title was bouncing around.
I guess it's
way worse than the IC title is right now. But those were the glory days. Like, how do you think Triple H, Kurt Angle, The Rock, Mick Foley, Stone Cold, Undertaker, and Kane were all champions?
Right, especially I think and that's why the reason why The Rock or Stone Cold had the belt that many times. I think Rock and Stone Cold had 6 apiece or 4 or 5. I know Rock got 6.
It's not a ton because there was a lot of stars for it to bounce around between, but it bounced. So honestly, I don't hate it. Listen, Jey deserved a singles titles run. They weren't going to be able to fit one in for long term, but they gave them the strap. They gave him the strap for a month. He was Intercontinental Champion. He carried the belt well. Had 2 good matches with Braun. They're 1-1 now, so they can always revisit that at a later date. And in a weird way, now Braun is a face Intercontinental Champion, which could open up new rivalries to him there with some potentially heel people. I would not say no to Braun Finn Balor for the Intercontinental Championship. Take my money there. But
him and Dom, though,
I mean, I think Dom's going to get that belt at some point.
I think so too. Yeah, I think so too.
And I'm here for it. It'll probably be after Liv loses her belt, but another story for another day. Now, in terms of the whole bloodline angle, this is why Jey Uso, I guess, needed to lose the belt. I don't think he needed to lose it before Survivor Series, but I get why you don't want the IC title to be second fiddle. That is the workhorse champion. That is the work rate belt. You don't want it to be second fiddle to storyline. I feel like that makes total logical sense to me. And we are clearly progressing here to the bloodline storyline. Now, my guess is we see Braun and Jey again at Crown Jewel, and we see the bloodline again cost Jey the IC title. And that's kind of where Jay's like, you know what? I'm in for Survivor Series. But we saw on SmackDown, I want to kind of backtrack here just to kind of get the timeline going. Solo Sikoa comes out. Jey Uso comes out of the crowd, says to him, like, you're messing up the family. You're making a mistake. Solo gives him the opportunity to acknowledge him. He does not. Him and Jacob Fatu kind of tease a match there. How did you feel about everything that went down on SmackDown?
Yeah, everything that went down on Smack. Look, well, before I even get to that, so I'm saying like it was not saying weird, but it's like it wasn't advertised that he's gonna be there. So when he did, I was hyped. You know, I was eating on my table. I was eating, and I was doing the eat, and I was surprised, but it was that promo was heartfelt. That promo was something that I didn't expect from those two dialogue to have that type of dialogue together, and Jey kind of put in perspective of how Solo's bringing up the family, and he said this is the reason why we didn't bring them. And I love that's probably one of the best promos that Jey did. Not the best, but one of the best promos they did because I love that promo because. And then even when he said to Jacob, I was like, oh yeah, he's losing. I think I text you. I don't know if I text you or not or something. I think I put it on social media. I think.
Yeah.
Like, he's losing that title. He's losing that title on Monday because it was just like once he said that to Jacob, and he was like, you know what I'm saying, what he gonna do to Jacob? I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
he losing
for sure.
title.
And then when he called Solo like his little brother, kind of like belittling him a little bit in front of his bloodline, you kind of knew like, all right, like the seeds are being planted here. And then how did you feel about them costing him the title on Raw? We saw them come out. They had the tickets. It was a distraction. We saw a potential Fatu Braun Breaker tease, which shut up and take my money. Where are you at on everything that happened Monday?
Yeah, that once again, that's probably one of the best main events over the last 3 weeks. Because not only did Braun and Jey was cooking, that made it even more. You can tell by the fans there in Philly, they was chanting a whole bunch of holy shits, and this is awesome because that match was cooking on top of that bloodline stuff, which was funny. I think another thing I want to say, I think Solo is probably the funniest person in that family. He told me, I got tickets. One thing,
He's got like the unintentional funny.
It was me and my friend.
They're all pretty funny though. I don't know.
Yeah. Jimmy the funniest. Yeah, Jimmy's
pretty funny.
Like, that's why me and you come in here and we wear we wave our Solo Sokoa flag because we understand where he was at and where he is now, and people shit on him, but he is cooking. Like what he's doing, and people.
I think an important thing to note too is work rate sometimes needs to match character.
Yeah,
and Solo's character isn't high intensity, isn't super exciting matches.
Yeah,
you know, it's like the street champ. I'm gonna beat you down, and wear you out. You have the high intensity with Fatu, and that's why he's like the fan favorite of the heel side. You have high intensity with Jey Uso, but Solo is much more diabolical, and that's how he presents himself in the ring. I think a lot of times fans kind of forget that you're your character in the match as well.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes his character now very interesting because now he got more character, more personality, which, he's not the best wrestler in the world. I think they dialed him back a lot to what he could be, but I think he does enough. That Cody last match that he did was pretty good to me. That second match, not the first one, the second match was pretty good to me. That the steel cage, my fault, the steel cage match was pretty good. But yeah, I think his character and what he was from a person that wasn't saying nothing at all, just the enforcer, to how he got the open mic from either the beginning of the show or to the end of the show, and he's holding his own against Roman and Cody and Randy and KO. Like he's doing a good job.
He's a bit away from being a true believable WWE champion.
Yes.
But I'm fine with where he's at storyline wise.
Yes, I agree, and I think that's something that's important, that where he's at storyline wise, because he's not, to some people he's not believable, but to me, I want to boo him because of things that he said, things that he do. I want to boo him. I don't. Yeah. It's not, and like,
for the record, people were saying at SummerSlam they thought he was going to win.
Yeah, exactly. And
I'm just saying, like to some, like it was believable that he could be WWE champion. Probably not for a long amount of time, but sometimes it's hard to make this transition. If you remember when Edge made the transition from mid-Carter tag team guy to WWE champion, they kind of babied that along. He had money in the bank. He cashed in on Cena. He wins. He has the title for a couple of weeks. He loses it. Then he's just back in the Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 23. Not really in the main event scene, doing the stuff with Rated RKO. Then, it's not until, that was a year later. But at 22, he had the match with Foley. Like, it wasn't this main program. And then you wait until the summer again to get that feud. and that's where Edge won it. But Solo didn't win it. But the summer is for, I think, the feud of bringing up elevation. Whereas, you know, the WrestleMania main event's not going to be Solo Cody, like, or Solo Roman. Like, you don't need to worry. But these 9 months of after WrestleMania to before Rumble, that is the time you grow the new stars.
And that's what I feel like that's what they've done. They've grown the new stars, and he's a new star. I don't know after this bloodline stuff what will happen to him. I feel like the bloodline will still be the bloodline, but I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he go back babyface or he's still heel or he spread out.
I think
I don't know what's going to happen.
Ways away from the end of this, but honestly, whenever we get there, I would like to see an IC or US title reign. And I want him to kind of be a monster for a little bit. Way like how they booked Umaga, I would like that.
Okay.
Get him and Armando Estrada and let him go, and maybe even he has, you know, the way Umaga and Cena had that last man standing match at the Rumble in 2007. Like, you know, like he's still involved in main programs. In terms of the Bloodline storyline here, do you kind of envision it the way that I just said? Jey gets a rematch at Crown Jewel. The Bloodline cost him again. And then Jey says, I don't want to team up with you guys, but now it's personal for me too. Teams up with Roman and Jimmy. They need one more. Jey's like, I'll get someone. And then that's how they get Sammy in there. Is that kind of the trajectory you see this, or do you see it another way?
So I don't see Jey getting another rematch. Not yet. I'm still I don't know how this Crown Jewel card is gonna go. Like I think you see Jey more on SmackDown than you see him on Raw going forward.
The brand split's probably dead.
Yeah, so I think especially up until after Survivor Series, the brand split is over with. I think, you know, I think now you see what do we do with Braun Breaker? I don't know, but just stay on the Bloodline stuff. Yeah, I don't see him. You know what I'm saying? Because I just feel like they don't want to do it again. Like another like, you know what I'm saying? I think Jey, you're gonna see Jey on SmackDown. I think Jey would help just for Jimmy. I think Jey would just help because they
Roman had that moment where he said he was proud of him.
Yeah, and no yeet.
Yeah, no yeet, but
no yeet.
But yeah, I'm sure it sat with him.
Yeah, it's sat with him. I think what we need as fans from Jey and from Jey and Roman is a sit to talk. Because this been expanded for 4 years, so the way Jey felt about Roman isn't just because of what happened when Roman was double champion or undisputed. This been happening since the pandemic.
Since the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, since the Hell in a Cell. So I think they need to have a talk before Jey really comes back into the bloodline. Now, also we also got to think about it. We haven't seen Sammy since that Raw, so we don't know how Sammy's going to factor in. We don't even know if Sammy's going to be in it too.
It's going to be the whole Jey. I can make a call.
Yeah,
and then like it ends up being Sammy. Whether the Montreal crowd knows it beforehand or doesn't, I don't know. But either way, the pop is going to be.
So I see Jey more on SmackDown. I think if Jey not this week comes SmackDown, next week whenever they do the tag team thing and happen to tag team, I think Jey is going to be what it costs the Tauntons the championship. We always thought it was Jimmy, but I think it's going to be Jey. I think Jey's going to cost them because
could be both of them.
Could be both. Because I mean I think they're gonna take a lot of beatings. I think all three of them gonna take a lot of beatings.
Do you think they drop those titles to
Motor Machine Guns? But then again, I don't even think the Motor Machine Guns will win because it's too soon. But then again, I don't know.
I mean, they're vets.
They are vets. So like, I think
they're just not very much over.
Yeah,
and obviously that's like another tangent. But you know, I'm enjoying the Bloodline stuff. You know, we'll talk about Crown Jewel again in a little bit. I kind of just want to fast forward it and be on the track to Survivor Series.
Same. I want to get this over
with. You know, we're kind of in that part of the WB calendar. It's why Raw is only 2 hours because they kind of are self-aware. Speaking of Monday Night Raw, we got to talk about what to some could be a sensitive topic, what to others feels like it doesn't even need a discussion. Wherever you fall, so be it. But Carlito on Raw, you know, made an off-the-script joke. So he walks into Pierce's office. Kairi Sane and Io Sky are walking out. He kind of gives them an old look up and down and says, dang, man, I got to learn Chinese.
Yeah.
So the point of the joke was those two women are super attractive. I got to learn their language.
Right.
Carlito is a fool and thinks that they're Chinese instead of Japanese. So I guess like I'll just blatantly throw my thoughts out there on this. I don't really think it's a big deal. And I'm going to say I don't think it's a big deal because reports came out that Io and Kyrie don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah,
they thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Like they thought he was being funny, playing his character.
Yeah.
And I have no reason to not believe that his character is an idiot. And if the two people who it's about aren't offended, I'm not going to waste my time being offended for people who were not offended by it. I also want to throw it out there, and this may be more of a sensitive topic, and you know, I'm not speaking for you here. I don't think that this is a story if those two women are Irish and he says he needs to learn Scottish. I don't even think that this is a story. Obviously, you know, some things are different there in terms of minority groups and powers, but it's not like Carlito is like Carlito himself is also a minority. So the whole thing to me just screamed this is being blown out of proportion, especially after it came out that Io and Kyrie were not upset about it.
And this is, to me, I agree with you because I don't think Carlito's a racist. I think people are very sensitive on the internet. I understand that people now in this generation is something that they throw that word out a lot. Racist, racism. They throw it out a lot. I mean, they've been doing that for years and centuries and stuff like that. But I think now with the social media about the racist stuff, it's a lot of stuff that be going on and people saying, people, you know, do stuff.
Yeah, just in general, I think people are quick to throw out accusations behind the keyboard.
Was it racist? You can agree with that. I mean, you can say that. You can say that. I think more than it being racist, it was stupid as hell. I think it was a stupid thing to say. Yes, of course, he was trying to be funny, but I think that's more than him being a racist, or you know, saying it's racism and stuff like that. And like you said, like if it was somebody else that wasn't either a black person or you know Japanese or something like that, people are very sensitive about those two in general. You know what I'm saying? Because of things that have been happening in recent. You know, things, especially with the, you know, the COVID stuff and people blaming. You know, like I said, it's a whole can of worms that we can open up.
A lot of like racially charged things.
Yes. So people, So people is more sensitive about blacks and Chinese and Japanese and you know stuff like that. You know, Taiwanese and stuff like that. People are more sensitive when it comes to stuff like that. Like you said, it's nothing because the two came out and said we just thought it was funny. We thought they was playing, you know.
And they work with him every day. Like, I'm sure they know what the intention was.
And I'm 100% sure that if he didn't do it after that, I'm 100% sure by time next Monday, behind closed doors, he doesn't apologize to them. That's why they not. Oh, he probably apologized after he seen that. Of course, you see that right away. You see that right away before they bit the lead the bus. He got their numbers. He could call them. He could see them. He could tell them, "Hey, I didn't mean nothing like that." You know what I'm saying? That's probably why they came out and said that quickly because
he probably reached out to them. Somebody internally in WWE said, "You need to reach out to them."
Yeah, this is bad. This is bad.
They were like, "Oh, like we didn't really care."
You know what I'm saying? Because I know it was a thing that came out when Io was in NXT and she was stretching, and I think somebody was like. Something like Chinese or something like that, and she was like, "I'm Japanese, bitch," and it went all the way on social media, like you know, people laughing and joking because she called them out. But once again, I think that's a bunch. This is a bunch of nothing, in my opinion. This is a bunch of nothing.
I agree.
This gets swept under the rug. You know,
I just think it's the internet getting mad over
100%.
What they want to be mad.
100%.
You know, I don't mean to get anybody in trouble, and it's not like we have a big enough platform that I'm going to. And if we had 100,000 subs on this channel, maybe I wouldn't point the nose at this. But you know, these are the same fans that are like, man, the ruthless aggression era. Do you remember that era? I mean, do you remember watching JBL? I mean, I was a kid and I had the SmackDown DVD of the 100 best moments. And you know what one of those moments was? JBL border watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you remember those skits?
Yo, I remember those skits.
I mean, and the things that he would say. I mean, you talk about Carlito getting canceled. I pray for JBL's
No.
sake that the internet
Well,
does not go back and watch 2006
oh, they already did. Oh, they already did.
highlights.
I've seen some about that. They already did. I mean, it ain't just the egregious stuff when Vince McMahon was coming up there and saying the N-word, or
I've seen that one trend.
Yeah,
I
you
haven't
know
seen any of the JBL stuff trend. And I hope for his sake, man, because there are some really bad clips. I mean, his character was racist.
Yeah, his character,
like,
yeah.
With the way JBL is in real life, it's like, character.
Yeah, so that
seemed real easy for you, man.
And on top of that Carlito stuff, I've gotten to somebody on social media because he was saying it, or I don't know if it was he. You know, so you know how those people on IWCs, those they got, you know, they profile pictures as anime characters. They ain't really know. So I don't know who it was. It was he or she, but he was trying to, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, saying WWE, saying racist stuff, mid-show and all that stuff. And I called him out. I'm like, you can't, that right there doesn't define how good Monday Night Raw was. And he was like, well, I didn't even watch it. And, you know, why would I want to watch Mid Uso in the main event? And I'm like, well, then shut up. Because you saying something and you talking about something that you don't watch the show. You don't know how good the show was, and that can't define how the show was. That was a bad moment in the show, but the show was really good. But you don't watch it and you talking stuff about the show, and I just hate that about people like that, you know. And of course, I look at his profile, his header. He got some of AEW, the Bang Bang Gang of AEW, his header. So he's the AEW leaders. So of course he's gonna say something bad about WWE when something come up, and don't talk about how bad AEW been for the last month.
And the thing is, like, this is my problem with a lot of internet warriors. It's, if you really truly thought it was a racist remark and like were deeply offended by it, I'm sorry that happened.
Yeah, sorry.
But I promise you, at least half of everybody that was criticizing it was just criticizing it to hate
because
on
other
WWE,
people,
to hate on WWE, not because they thought it was bad, they thought it was poor taste, or because they even give a shit about how anybody that's Japanese or Chinese felt watching it, solely for the purpose of just trying to pile on WWE hate.
And that's what it is, and it's sick, and that's the issue with the tribalism, because that's
you're almost even worse of a person.
Exactly. But that's that's how I feel.
Yeah, and to keep the bad news coming, we may have Bill Goldberg returning to the WWE. I mentioned this on the last pod. This is, I mean, worst case scenario for me. The fact that in my mind and in our mind, we were getting CM Punk versus Gunther at Survivor Series, and that might turn into Gunther versus Goldberg 5-minute squash fest is just terrible. And if you want to do Goldberg on some other Saudi show, or if you just want Goldberg, listen, if Goldberg just appears in the main event and costs Gunther the title and goes away, fine. But I swear, man, if this storyline leaves Saudi, I'm not, you know, anybody who's watched the show for a while, and you especially know, I'm not a big ranter. I'm pretty chill about the product. I'm not booking it. It's not always being booked for me. I can sit back and enjoy most decisions, even if they're not the ones that I would make. I will lose my mind if in 2024 Bill Goldberg is in a prominent World Heavyweight Championship program going into a Big Four pay-per-view.
Yeah, and I think that might be the day I'll be right behind you with that, because I think lead out of Saudi, and we predicted it. They love the Saudi crowd is stuck in the early 2000s.
If Goldberg's music hits, the ref goes down, Goldberg's music hits, he hits Gunther with a spear, Cody at Crossroads, Cody wins, the Atlanta guys celebrate, and Goldberg rides off into the sunset, fine. So be it. You won't hear a complaint about me as long as what happens in Saudi with Goldberg stays in Saudi. Treat that shit like Vegas and leave it behind and leave it there, and let me get on the road to CM Punk and Gunther at Survivor Series. Because to be honest, I'd rather Gunther just not even be on the freaking card than be in a match with Goldberg.
And I agree. And like I said, and I agree, because Gunther versus Goldberg at Survivor Series would be so fucking bad. It won't because
what
you do a pump
against Goldberg. I get it. You chase the bag, so be it. He just doesn't have the work rate anymore. He like really in his prime wasn't a great work rate guy to begin with, but not everybody has to be, Braun Strowman, not a great work rate guy, but could be very entertaining in 10 to 15 minute, periods there. The same thing for Goldberg. I loved his character. I love watching the old matches. Goldberg versus The Rock at Backlash, and I believe 03-ish around there. Very entertaining. Hollywood Rock versus Goldberg. You're next. Like the promo, like it was great. Goldberg in the Elimination Chamber at SummerSlam with Triple H and Randy Orton. Good stuff there. Like I'm not just some Goldberg hater, but Goldberg in 2024, no. Thank you.
I'm good. And like you said, and like how we've been saying, I just don't leave that joint in Saudi. He spares him. Cost the match. Do not bring it to Monday Night Raw the next week. Do not bring it to next week because we want to see Punk and Gunther. Yeah, we want to see Punk. We want to see Gunther and Drew and Gunther and somebody else.
And I'll be honest, you bring it to the U.S., they're going to cheer Gunther and they're going to boo Goldberg.
And the thing about it is that those two, they style don't match. Like I don't know how can you get a good match out of. I'd rather see Brock. Give me Brock and Gunther. I'd rather see.
Apparently, Brock's like. They're not even entertaining it. Which
but you're going to entertain Goldberg though.
To be fair, Goldberg doesn't have the same sexual assault allegations.
Well, yeah, of course, but I'm not saying he didn't shit on WWE, but he shit on Vince. But Vince ain't there. But I'm just saying, like, it's just why though. Gunther and Goldberg just don't mesh, and I just don't think that Goldberg is
Gunther is the ring general, and Goldberg is not good in the ring.
No, man, especially with no trick, no matches, no nothing. So he just coming straight to a title match, and this is the stuff that used to happen with Vince, and then this is
and that's why I don't believe it's going to happen. Truthfully,
because
the report that came out was WWE has plans with Goldberg in the future. A very vague report there. Could very well be exactly what I just said. Hey, stupid Saudi show that doesn't even matter for them shitty looking belts that don't even matter. You know what they'll love? Goldberg. We got an appearance left on his contract. Let's get it out of the way there. Get a cheap pop. Give Cody the win. That way we're not pinning Gunther clean. And we can say Cody Rhodes, the first ever crown jewel champion. And that fun name is attached to it. Like, wonderful. I don't care. Leave it there. I'm not even interested in the show to begin with. So if you want to just pile on to my disinterest, so be it. I just can't wait for it to be over and be on the road to Survivor Series. But you will see an all-time rant from me. If just the Monday following Crown Jewel,
just keep the plans. Just keep the plans. Let's do Gunther and CM Punk. CM Punk is going to be there after Saudi. The reason why CM Punk is off because he's not going to Saudi. His beliefs is not of what the Saudi people know. We all know how they. Yeah. We know. So let's just keep that there. I do not want to see. Like I said, he will have an all-time rant, and I'll just watch and I'll be quiet because I might chime in. I just don't think none of us want that. No. That's the Vince. Come on, Triple H. Don't make us come in here and shit on you when we love you so much. Please.
Yeah, and I just honestly, if it happens, I know that it wasn't a Triple H decision.
Yeah.
That's basically where that will be at.
Yeah.
A fun, interesting match that we do have announced for Crown Jewel, though, that I'm actually quite interested in checking out, and we'll see if I check it out live, if I am, not busy that Saturday afternoon doing anything else, but Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. This storyline been cooking a little bit. Obviously, the whole angle where Bronson Reed took Seth Rollins out was super interesting. He was actually on Chris Van Vliet's podcast, and he basically said that it was not even planned to do that many tsunamis. He was just rolling with the crowd, and Seth is one hell of a worker and rolled with the punches there. So shout out Seth for taking 8 tsunamis on a night he did not plan to. They kicked off Raw, Seth attacking him, had to be separated. We're headed towards a match there. I guess I'll frame the question like this: does Bronson Reed need to beat Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel?
Yes. I think that he needs to win that game. It's a game. I think he needs to win that match. I think to make Bronson Reed look like a monster and make him look credible, he has to beat Seth. Or if Seth does win, Steph has to win off a chair shot or something
like a roll up. I think the way that they could do it, if they were to do it, is go back and watch 2007 New Year's Revolution, John Cena Umaga. What led to the Last Man Standing match was a match at New Year's Revolution in which it was, for some of the newer viewers, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, SummerSlam. It was that match, except John Cena won with a roll-up out of the corner, out of nowhere. If you have Seth roll out of the way of a tsunami and get a quick roll-up win and veteran move, fine, because at that point you're still booking Bronson to look strong. Yeah. But they had to do that because Cena was champ and you weren't putting the strap on Umaga. Yeah. There is no reason to not have Seth lose this match and give Bronson the bump, especially when you look ahead. What is Seth's future plans? Yep. Seth Rollins probably going to be in the Royal Rumble and get cost the Royal Rumble by CM Punk or vice versa, because that is the match they're booking to at WrestleMania. Yep. Will that match have a title attached to it? No, it will not. So there is no reason that Seth can't take a loss here to elevate Bronson Reed, especially when my guess is Seth is beating CM Punk at WrestleMania. The bigger win is certainly down the line for him. Yep.
I agree 100%. I think even how you said, let's if you do Seth, let's say Seth wins. If Seth wins, let's have Seth get beat up. Let's have a couple of tsunamis. Not a couple of tsunamis. I don't think Seth will care about a couple of tsunamis.
Yeah, like a roll up and then
a roll up after a beat down, a roll up and another beat down. You know, so stuff like that. Like I said, if Reed's gonna lose, if you book Reed to lose, book Reed as a strong loser. I know losing, how you become a strong loser? That right there. Like a strong loser is somebody that loses but don't lose as clean, and then you get you do a beat down afterwards, or the babyface get beat down so much and you do a roll up, or you do a schoolboy, or you do something to make the person who got pinned look strong. And if you ain't gonna have Bronson Reed win at Saudi, then make him look strong enough so then he get a rematch in which I don't think this feud's gonna come.
Well, yeah, this isn't a one match.
No, so that's why you need Bronson Reed to win, because it ain't gonna be a one match
going throughout. I think this is going throughout the winter. I think will take us up towards kind of New Year Raw.
I would love this to be a Survivor Series match. I would love to be a Survivor Series match. I doubt it, but I think
I doubt if it's on that card, because
I doubt it. It's only five. It's only five
matches. Two games. Punk, Cody, Kevin, and probably a women's match there between Nia and whoever. And I think that's your Survivor Series card. Obviously, we haven't been.
Nia and Charlotte Flair. They said she'll be back soon.
Yeah, the longer they keep holding her away, the more I'm starting to think they're saving her for Rumble. But I don't know.
I think just feel Nia like and Naomi. I think it'll be Nia and Naomi.
Or Nia, Naomi, Bailey. Something that could lead to Tiffany hopefully cashing in. Survivor Series could be a big night, but Seth and Reed, I feel like they at some point inevitably have to have some form of steel cage, last man standing, Extreme Rules, Falls Count Anywhere match on Raw, and that'll be like the blow off in December. And maybe Seth gets the win back there. I just think by December we need to look at Bronson Reed as very credible, and I almost think Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, as now a face, is like a really good spot to go with the IC title into potentially WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think Bronson Reed as a baby. I mean, Braun Breaker as a babyface, Bronson as a heel. I think, because I know people say Sheamus, but Sheamus haven't been back. Well, I know he got beat up pretty bad at that Donnybrook match. But if you don't do Sheamus, I think Bronson as a heel winning at WrestleMania would be pretty good.
You could always have Bronson take the title on the first Raw and then have Sheamus beat him at Mania, like however you want to do it. I just think Bronson Reed in the IC title picture is kind of where we're going, and I think he should get a title run.
Because I think
in 2025 or maybe late 2020.
Because I know we're thinking ahead, because I do believe that Gunther will lose to Cena at Mania. I do believe that. So if we're going to take the belt off Braun Breaker, I think that Braun Breaker versus Cena will be Cena first defense. And, of course, he's going to lose Cena. I'm just thinking too much ahead. But yeah, agreed. Yeah, agreed. I think Reed IC title WrestleMania would be perfect for him.
Yeah, and then Seth versus Punk, obviously, where we're headed there. But
yep,
you know, that's all we got today. A little bit shorter episode.
Yep.
You know, nothing too major. If anything real serious breaks down over the weekend, maybe we'll come back up here. It's really just about the support you guys show to the channel. And the clip's been doing well, a lot more engagement, gaining some subs. So we certainly do appreciate
y'all.
that. If you,
Can I do daily thoughts? Can I do daily thoughts real quick?
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say real quick, you know, the more support you guys show, the more that will make it a priority to get content out there. You know, this thing grows to, you know, 1,000 subs and we get monetized and there's something going there. We could be up here Monday nights after Raw. We could be up here Fridays after SmackDown. And I get it that in the IWC, there's a lot of one way or another overreacting. And our kind of goal here is to be two wrestling fans chopping it up with you, not being corny, not overreacting. You know, there's obviously a ton of big personalities out there in this space, and no shade at them. We just kind of have a different vision for this.
100%. And I second everything my partner said. I think we appreciate y'all that, you know, who's liking and watching this, and we also encourage y'all to be have interaction. Like if y'all have something to say, comment down below. Like if you feel like we said something wrong, or you feel like we
did have somebody recently on a clip.
Oh, we did.
That's how I knew we were getting traction, because we got somebody for the first time that told us we were being stupid. And I was like,
nice.
If you don't have haters, you're not anywhere.
So keep doing that. I didn't check that, but I'm gonna have to check it and comment under that, because you know what I'm saying, I love calling people out. But yeah, I mean, if you got something to say like we being stupid, or we being smart, or we good bookers, like continue to like give us feedback, because like I said, he said, once we get monetized, we do more content. I'll probably do individual content. I know my man's right here is very busy. I don't know about Dylan Mal, but he's very, very busy, man. And you know what I'm saying, we can figure something out. But no, like I said, once again, appreciate y'all for liking, viewing and stuff. I think our last podcast did really good. I know me and him was talking about it off camera. It did really very, very, very good, the views and stuff like that, and the subscribers that we got to that. It was a good podcast right there. So a good episode. So yeah, I appreciate y'all. Before we get out of here, I just want to, you know, I could mix a little AEW news. I seen something about Bobby Lashley. Well, if people don't know, Adam Cole said him and Britt Baker just it's not together no more, and that was kind of made me sad a little bit, little tear down my eye. I was kind of sad because they've been together for a long period of time and don't know what happened there. And none of my business. But hey, Britt, if you need a shoulder to cry, y'all, I'm right here. But yeah, that's very sad.
Up a dentist as we speak.
Another thing, I seen something today about Bobby Lashley talking about you know, about the Hurt Business and how, you know, that the new regime didn't want to do Hurt Business, so I was spit in his face. And Bobby, I love you, brother. That it was 4 years ago, bro. Give it up. You know what I'm saying? I just think y'all had your time, and that time was really good for that pandemic era. And by the time we got out the pandemic era, it was nothing for you. You became world champion. You became IC champion. You didn't need to Hurt Business no more, brother. Give it up. And I just hope that you get your needs satisfied in AEW, which that ain't gonna last long, because AEW suck at booking, and booking is not that very good. And y'all gonna be in there with a few Swerve Street.
How's Ricochet doing?
On Rampage. He's on Rampage. He had one big match, actually 2 big matches, and on Rampage on Friday, which 50 people watch. Let's talk about that.
I heard.
Yeah, on Rampage. He's not even on Wednesday. He's on Rampage. So it's like, and then you're going to come in, you're going to debut against Swerve Strickland, which we know you're not going to beat Swerve Strickland. So you're going against one of the biggest people in AEW, and then you're going to lose. So your first time out, you're going to lose. You're not going to beat Swerve. So that means your first big feud as a big team, you're going to lose to Swerve Strickland, and then what you going to do after that? Face against Private Party, face against the Elite, face against BCC. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah, of course, the fans are going to be happy for the Hurt Syndicate, and we're going to be all excited, and we're going to be all jolly and whatnot for y'all. But I don't think that holds the same type of weight that it did at 5 years old, 4 years older. You're 50, MVP 54, and Shelton Benjamin's 49. Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's chill out with that, and let's chill out with the, you know what I'm saying? Because that's kind of the same thing about the Triple H's racist thing. Because you turned to spit in your face because the new regime didn't want to do the Hurt Business. No, we did not want to do the Hurt Business. I'm sorry. Nobody wanted to see that. I apologize. Nobody wanted to see that. So hopefully them AEW fans who want y'all want to see that, but they're going to be losers in there. They're going to be losers, and they're going to be on Collision. Sorry. What else I got? Oh, NXT gonna be in Philly. NXT been real hot. They had a couple of good shows. NXT been really good. Keep watching it. I guess today they said that I think somebody said that they not a developmental brand no more. Another thing. Oh my God! Before we leave, hold on. I am tired. So Daniel Garcia, right? I'm talking to y'all, right? I'm talking to y'all because my boy Dylan's just listening, right? Daniel Garcia talking about he didn't sign with AEW. I mean, he didn't sign with WWE or NXT or not because he feel like AEW is the best at wrestles. I am getting sick and tired of that. Do people remember what WCW mantra was with the thing where the big boys play? That's what it's starting to sound like. Every time I hear something from AEW, keep telling me we're the best wrestlers. That sounds like WCW. Y'all don't want to be WCW, but saying the same things, acting the same way, signing the washed old WWE play people and bringing them to y'all thing, but y'all want to be the alternative. And keep
what did they say insanity is? Doing the same thing over and over again,
over and over again.
Results.
Yes, and I keep hearing it. We're the best AEW. We're the best wrestler. That sounds like WCW. Where the big boys play. Like it sounds exactly the same. And I'm sorry to tell you, but you check the PWI top. What you call them? I see more WWE stars than I see AEW stars or New Japan stars.
I mean, this is why I can't get into it. And from what I understand, and this is from what I understand, and people could say, I don't watch the product, so I shouldn't talk. And, if you are a hardcore fan, I totally get where you're coming from. Yeah. And these are just my 2 cents, but I don't watch because they haven't done anything that I've been like, oh, I need to check this out.
Right.
Because none of their storylines are long enough and captivating enough for me to be interested. And some of that's their fault. Some of that is not. But I will tell you what, and you could say what you want about me. You don't have to believe it. When CM Punk joined, I was watching weekly with him and MJF. I was tuned in to whenever those segments were happening, social clips, you name it. I was watching it early on in AEW. And obviously the new hotness, that part of it kicked in. But when Cody and Jericho and Moxley were kind of the big dogs, I was watching. And now I can't even tell you who their world champion is feuding with.
Right. Nobody. They just took the belt off Daniel Bryan and he's feuding with jobbers. So John Moxley got the belt, and I just seen today that fucking Chris Jericho won the ROH championship again. Why?
Why did he win belts there too?
Why did he win it again? I just seen that. Why did he win it again? All right, I'm done because I mean it'll be a whole. We got to get out of here.
Yeah. If you enjoyed that snippet, tell Deli in the comment section he needs to start doing a weekly AEW news breakdown video.
I got you. I will. I need.
But we will catch you guys next time. Again, the more support, the more pods that go out each and every week. So we'll catch you then. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.